Welcome back. The Division of Transport is alarmed at the recent increase in reports of stray animals on the island's roads, particularly along major roadways. In keeping with Section 26 of the Animals Act, the owner of any animal found tied, wandering, straying, or lying in such a manner as to cause obstruction, danger, damage, or injury to any user of the highway or a public place commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $5,000 or to imprisonment for 2 years or both. Owners are further reminded that where an animal poses an immediate danger to road users, the animal may be seized or, where practicable, shall be shot or immobilized by a duly authorized individual. All costs incurred during this process shall be borne by the owner of the animal. The Division of Transport says it will work closely with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to ensure that the law is enforced and to ensure public safety on the nation's roads. In other news, the city of Castries has gained a reputation for having poor solid waste disposal techniques. Often, the St. Lucia Solid Waste Management Authority is called upon for solutions to the issue. Castries Mayor Peter St. Francis says traditional methods have proven futile and it is time to take action. Back in July 2019, Francis announced his plans to tackle the issue with the help of city police. Now, less than a month later, he has officially begun the war on litter in the city. Jacques Wooding tells us more.
After his success in diminishing the practice of public urination in the city, Mayor Peter St. Francis moves forward in his plans to tidy Castries by addressing high levels of littering. After being appointed, the mayor addressed the public on the issue, letting it be known that this would be a focus during his tenure. His mission has involved sensitization of students as well as the general public. The mayor believes that efforts have been effective thus far. However, he says a stronger message must be sent by prosecuting perpetrators.
The other thing we are looking at is the garbage, and we are going to crack down on it, and we have started cracking down on it, especially littering. I'm not saying I'm happy to announce, because I don't believe there's any joy in that, but so far, we have 11 people in front of the courts for littering. So we have started, and we'll continue.
Francis spoke out on the contribution of the business community to current waste management issues. It is alleged that many businesses in the city pay less fortunate individuals small amounts of money to dump garbage accumulated by the business houses. Mayor Francis says the offending business owners will be held accountable for their actions.
The other thing we're looking at the business places, and I have said previously that they just give some, how we, in our own term, we call jumbies, to go and throw rubbish. As I said, they go all into it. While they're walking, they filter into that rubbish, throw all the thing, and then put it at any place. As long as we can associate that rubbish with you, in one way or the other, you will be charged.
The mayor urges the public to comply with environmental protection initiatives or face prosecution. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
Business places relying on energetic music to attract customers will now have to seek permits before blaring music out of speakers, so says Mayor Peter St. Francis. The mayor says come the 19th of August, no permission means no music.
From next weekend, that the noise that we are hearing over the weekend, because as the commissioner pointed out to me, that every establishment island-wide who has permission to play music is being published every Friday. So the city police will be cracking down on these business places in Castries, especially where you find the people in the CDCs and this place can't sleep. So I'm just giving the end of this week, but from next week is that you know music unless you have permission from the commissioner.
That was Mayor Peter St. Francis, who says the crackdown on non-permitted businesses playing music will go into effect come August 24th. The mayor insists no form of music will be allowed to play until the business is authorized to do so.
We don't want it low, we don't want it loud, we don't want it semi, anything. Since you don't have permission, there is no music. And we're going to crack down on that with a force.
The mayor says efforts will be focused within the Castries Basin due to the fact residents within the outskirts of the city have not complained of any issue regarding noise pollution.
Well, our jurisdiction goes, as you know, the 4 constituencies. But we do not have that complaint from the other areas. But within the city, it is a major problem. That doesn't mean we are not, our jurisdiction doesn't think that if they call, if somebody called the city police, the next thing I would like to say that now the city police, now we are mobile, we are moving, you'll be seeing the patrolling and so on. So if we have a situation where somebody is saying, look, we have a problem, we will attend. But our main focus now, and sometimes they say that I'm biased, in that I only concentrated on Castries. But it's not my fault for now.
The mayor's tough approach to cleaning up the city includes a crackdown on public urination, improper garbage disposal, crime, and now noise pollution. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
In an effort to expedite the backlog of criminal cases, Prime Minister Alan Shastny says efforts will be made to bolster the judicial system. Lending his voice to the conversation is journalist Earl Bousquet, who says successful governance of the country relies on each government bettering what their predecessor has done.
The backlog of criminal cases is said to be in the thousands, according to Prime Minister Alan Shastny during a recent press briefing where he outlined the measures which are being put in place to reduce crime. Shastny says upgrades to the judicial system will allow for due processing to bring about a reduction in the criminal case backlog.
I think you can say that people believe that crime does pay, because the time it takes from being caught to being convicted, whether in fact you ever get it convicted, is so long. And so getting the courthouses resolved right away was critical. Today, as I stand here, we have 1,000 case backlog in criminal cases. Criminal cases. 1,000.
Meanwhile, veteran journalist Earl Bousquet says, though the initiative planned out by Prime Minister Shastny to bolster the judicial system is an encouraging one, the reconstruction and renovation of the court systems may be aesthetically pleasing, but will not guarantee an accelerated processing of the backlog of cases.
Governments, unfortunately, are limited in the extent to which they could influence the process of execution of justice. Justice is not necessarily implemented by the beauty of a courthouse. In Africa, justice is meted under trees. The only person in some places who sitting down under that tree is the judge. In other parts of Africa, justice is meted out in high-rise, air-conditioned buildings, but the levels of justice are equal, irrespective of where, because justice ought not to have any color, far less any politics. So, yes, it is a good intention. It is always a good plan. I think every government tries to tinker with the justice system. One administration will review the criminal code and upgrade it.
This tinkering, he says, will greatly benefit the island, as every government the people put into power has a mandate of bettering the previous administration.
Every effort by each administration to improve the justice system will be judged not by the number of efforts, but by the number of cases that get resolved and the number of people who feel that the justice system is better today, not because of yellow or red, but because a government elected by the people or every government elected by the people decided to keep tinkering with the armor until it is in full body shape.
Bousquet is of the opinion no government within their 5-year tenure can perfect the justice system. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
As the St. Lucia Diabetes and Hypertension Association gears up for the commemoration of Hypertension Month in November, the organization is seeking to raise awareness about the condition. The St. Lucia Diabetes and Hypertension Association highlights the importance of regular screenings. It has been noted that participation in screenings on the part of the public is heightened during Diabetes Month in May. However, a representative of the association, Sandy Felix, says consistency is key and therefore urges regular screenings. The association is undertaking a public awareness campaign under the theme Know Your Number as it prepares for Hypertension Month in November.
And today I want to encourage the St. Lucian public, and I also want to educate them as to how important screening is. Regular screening is done to either identify or to detect early health problems or maybe diseases. Now, the earlier you identify or you detect the problem, whether it be in diabetes, whether it be in hypertension, any chronic illness can be managed and you can live a normal life. Persons believe that when they are maybe plagued with some form of disease, whether it be in cancer or even heart problem, that it is the end of their lives. Let me assure you and let me encourage you that you can live a normal life. The earlier you detect the problem, the better for you.
Hypertension is a cause of a range of major health issues such as strokes, heart attacks, kidney disease, and dementia. Many people who suffer from hypertension are not aware, as there can be no symptoms. Often, people find out after suffering a heart attack or stroke. Felix says these complications can be avoided with proper and regular screenings.
Regular testing also can save lives, because if you as an individual do not test your, say for example, your blood sugar or even your blood pressure, you don't know your number. You may go to a doctor or even a healthcare provider and do your blood pressure. You don't know what's your regular blood pressure. You may be placed on medication for something that you are normal for. So we encourage people and we try our best to sensitize the public as to going about knowing what the numbers are, which is our theme for the year under the Hypertension Month.
The Vice President of the Diabetes Foundation for Youth, Perseus Prosper, stands as an advocate for proper diabetes management. Prosper understands that younger members of the foundation are looking up to him, and having lived 28 years with the disease, he has a lot of knowledge to impart.
So being the Vice President of the Youth Diabetes Foundation for Youth, I'm like really their inspiration, and let them know, because I've been living it from since the age of 7, so I know exactly what they go through, the challenges they go through. So I'm just to be like an example to them, so don't follow the mistakes or do the mistakes that I did, and better manage their diabetes so they can live a long, healthy life.
The St. Lucia Diabetes and Hypertension Association invites the public to join activities for the upcoming commemoration of Hypertension Month 2019. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.